think having regulation, having clarity, regulatory clarity is very important for the industry to continue to grow. So I think having that is very important. But at the same time, we would like to see regulations that are pro-innovation while protecting the consumers at the same time. So we need to find that right balance, whereas overly restrictive regulations will kill the industry and just move the industry to other countries. Whereas too relaxed, there's too many scammers and too many fraudsters. That's also not so good.
Can I ask you about the hackers? Because your own company has also suffered from one of those attacks in recent weeks. So what, 570 million in tokens stolen from Binance. We've seen this across the industry as well. You're not alone in that sense. What, 2 billion's been stolen the year ending in July, double the total of the first 7 months of last year. What can you do to crack down on some of these attacks, and why are they still happening at this point?
Sure, there's many things we can do, but I just want to make a minor correction. Binance.com, the centralized exchange, was not hacked recently, knock on wood. What was hacked was a cross-chain bridge that sits between two open blockchains that was hacked. The total affected amount was in 2 million BNB. So the coin, but the blockchain was able to freeze about 80 to 90% of it. So the actual loss of it is actually much smaller. We're still actually helping them to chase the bad players, working with law enforcement around the globe. So working with law enforcement is one of the ways that we can try to make the space safe. And actually, in this particular instant, the law enforcement gave us some tips on who they think it might be, etc. So we're actually narrowing down. The other part that's really important is to help developers develop safer code. Everything software could have bugs. So we're working with many security companies. We're investing in security companies to do audits on code, etc. The last part is really just education. So we need to educate users about the potential risks in this new field. So all of those things are important.
CZ, you took the unusual route of writing a blog to respond to the Reuters journalist who was asking probing questions about your regulatory approach and about your leadership style. Whatever the arguments on either side here, when a CEO becomes involved in this kind of exchange, often that becomes a distraction to the running of the business. Is it perhaps time to step aside and settle your differences with Reuters and those others who criticize you at this point? This can only be damaging to the business, surely.
Absolutely. So it is, as you said, a distraction. And I very much like to put it aside and just focus on building business. And unfortunately, the article from Reuters uses things that's from 3 years ago. We addressed it 10 times already, and they still rewrite it in their narrative. And they talk to all the ex-employees of Binance, etc. Many people who were terminated or fired, who are obviously not happy with us. So yeah, so that's something we like to put behind us. For me, that's done. The article did not have that much pickup. I think it didn't contain much new content, so we're not worried about it. We're moving on.